Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking a stack of sources that lay out a kind of roadmap for holistic achievement. We're digging deep into a foundational text, really, focused on 7 principles for success in life.
Right.
And this isn't just about, reading the headlines. It's more about understanding the, let's say, internal architecture needed to build a successful life.
Yeah, and it's crucial to understand right from the start that this tradition defines success. They call it well, it's not seen as some external prize, but really as a state of being.
A state of being, okay.
So our mission today is to extract the maybe counterintuitive steps needed to achieve this kind of comprehensive success, one that spans spiritual, mental, and physical domains equally.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately then, because that starting point sounds absolutely critical.
It is.
The foundational belief here is that true success isn't like a linear climb, right? It's described more as a constant, natural result of maintaining a 3-part harmony.
Exactly, a harmony.
So you can't just crush it professionally or, be super fit physically and just expect CD to happen. You need all 3 pillars balanced.
That's the core distinction, precisely. The source material outlines these 3 critical fields of human existence that must be harmonized.
Okay, what are they?
So the first is the physical field. Pretty straightforward. These are the needs essential for existence itself. Food, water, air, light, shelter, basic survival stuff.
Right. If the physical structure is failing,
the whole operation is compromised. Simple as that.
That makes sense. It's practical survival, the basis of everything. And honestly, it's often the field we overlook when we're chasing success in the modern sense.
Absolutely. Overlooked or sacrificed. Then the second field is the mental field.
Okay.
This relates to the inherent human need for happiness, for the sustained maintenance of joy. It's really about the affective state of your consciousness.
Your inner state. Got it.
And third, serving as both the anchor and the ultimate goal, is the spiritual field. And this is defined as the need for a sense of connection or unity with what the source refers to as the supreme being.
So CD then is the achievement of harmony across all 3.
Yeah.
Physical, mental, and spiritual. It's a fusion.
Yes.
Spiritual unity supported by mental stability, all housed within a functional, healthy body.
Wow. That sounds like a monumental task.
It is significant, yes.
So how does the tradition suggest we even begin this journey? Where's step 1?
Well, we begin with the foundation, the absolute non-negotiable first step.
And that is the first core principle, faith, or Shraddha. The sources say if this principle isn't established, the entire structure just remains unbuilt, like trying to build on sand.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is the very precise, specific definition of this faith. It's not just a vague religious belief.
It's not at
all.
Yeah.
The faith required here is the unwavering, deeply internalized conviction in the statement, I am the son of the supreme being.
I am the son of the supreme being. That sounds beautiful, certainly aspirational, but let's be realistic for a moment.
Sure. In the face of, say, catastrophic personal failure or a major conflict at work or even just deep existential fear, how does that statement actually translate into measurable resilience? Isn't it a bit abstract to stop someone from just, giving up?
That's a critical question. And the answer, according to the text, lies in its immediate impact on your fundamental self-worth.
Okay, how so?
If you are truly convinced deep down that you are fundamentally connected to the ultimate reality, then your self-worth stops being contingent on external outcomes.
Okay, like a promotion or relationship status or how much money you have.
Exactly. Those things become secondary. External failure becomes less defining, less shattering.
Right. It doesn't diminish your core identity.
Precisely. The source states this specific faith is the single, non-transferable source of courage, confidence, and importantly, peace.
Courage, confidence, and peace.
Yes. If you know who you fundamentally are, independent of what you achieve or possess externally, you gain this inherent assurance. It's what you need to navigate life's inevitable setbacks.
So it removes that fear of ultimate existential loss.
It does, and it provides the courage to keep moving forward even when things are tough. It really is the primary building block. No faith, no structure.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so once that rock-solid foundation of self-assurance is set by faith, the sources suggest we need to immediately start refining our inner vision, our inner world.
That's right.
Which leads us directly to principles 2 and 3, dealing with inner knowledge and practice.
Principle number 2 is truth, or satya. Now, this is a concept that really needs some deep unpacking because it goes far beyond just, not telling lies in conversation.
Right, it's more philosophical.
Very much so. The text defines truth etymologically, which is quite interesting. It's seen as the combination of sat plus ta.
Sat plus ta. Okay, break those down for us. This sounds like where the philosophy really turns into internal work.
It is. So sat refers to the ultimate reality, the supreme truth, or the supreme being, what the text calls Parampurusa, the unchanging reality.
Okay, sat is the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
And ta.
Ta refers to your mental state, the form or the condition your consciousness takes at any given moment, your subjective reality, if you will.
Got it. So truth, Satya, is the process of aligning my temporary subjective mental state with that ultimate objective reality, Sat.
Exactly. It's a rigorous process, constant alignment.
Wow, that's a high bar. It sounds like shedding illusion constantly. So this isn't passive contemplation then. Is it about rigorous self-honesty?
Absolutely.
Like, for instance, recognizing an internal bias I have, or maybe an ego-driven reaction or some emotional justification I'm making. Seeing that as separate from objective reality, is that a moment of Sakya in action?
You hit the nail on the head. That is precisely it. It is active, conscious work, constantly measuring your internal landscape, your desires, your fears, your judgments against that unchanging reality of Sat.
Right.
Success, in this view, requires continuous introspection, always striving to minimize the distance between the small, often illusion-filled your mind and the comprehensive Sat, truth.
And doing that presumably minimizes errors in judgment and action.
That's the idea. Clearer seeing leads to better action.
Okay. And that demanding work of internal alignment, well, it surely needs a mechanism, right? A practice, which I guess brings us to the third principle.
Precisely. You need a tool. And the practice required to achieve that alignment is worship, or upasana.
Upasana. Okay. And this worship practice, as described in our sources, seems intrinsically tied to the sacred syllable Omkar.
That's right, Om. The text details the significance of Om by breaking down its components. The sound itself, when properly contemplated, is understood to encompass the entire cycle of existence.
The whole cycle. How so?
Well, A is said to represent the beginning state, creation. M represents the end state, dissolution.
Okay. A and M.
And U represents the intermediary state, the ongoing present, maintenance.
So AUM, creation, maintenance, dissolution, the whole cosmic process in one sound.
Exactly. So the practice itself becomes an acknowledgement and an acceptance of the cyclical nature of everything.
That's profound.
Yes. And the worshiper then is defined as one who accepts the sound and its profound meaning. This practice connects directly back to that crucial spiritual field we talked about at the start.
Right, the need for connection or unity.
Worship, upasana, is presented as the direct, practical path to approach the Supreme Being. It's the mechanism for achieving that spiritual unity required for holistic success for Siddhi.
And without this constant internal recalibration through practice,
the alignment you achieve through satya, through truth, will quickly erode. It needs maintenance.
Makes sense. Okay, so far we've built the foundation of courage through faith. We've established the intellectual target, let's say, through truth, and we've set up the engine for alignment through worship. Now, how do we maintain that stability when we're dealing with the chaos of the outside world? You know, difficult people, unexpected problems.
Right. That shifts us neatly to Principle 4, equilibrium, or samanjasya, sometimes translated as equipoise.
Equilibrium? Okay.
This is the state of mind, the essential mental stability that allows you to remain balanced regardless of external circumstances or challenging human interactions.
That requires incredible internal processing power, I'd imagine. And this is where the sources offer a particularly memorable and maybe synthesized framework for understanding the supreme entity, Parampurusa. It helps find that equilibrium.
Indeed. The text uses an acronym that might be familiar to many in the West, actually, to conceptualize the different powers or aspects of the supreme entity, G.O.D.
G.O.D. Okay, let's explore the deep implication of this synthesis. How do the sources break down G.O.D. for someone trying to practice this?
The breakdown is quite structural, mapping onto cosmic functions.
Right.
G stands for generator, which is associated with the creative force, often symbolized by Brahma in related traditions.
Okay, G for generator, Brahma.
O stands for operator, associated with the sustaining force, the maintenance principle, often linked with Vishnu.
O for operator, Vishnu.
Got it. And D stands for destroyer, associated with the transformative or dissolving force. Shiva is the common association there.
G.O.D. generator, operator, destroyer. It's brilliant how the text uses that to map creation, maintenance, and dissolution. But let's focus on the hard part, the destroyer.
The challenging aspect.
Yeah. If success requires dealing with opposition, conflict, maybe even literal destruction in business or life, how does understanding this framework actually help us maintain equilibrium? How does knowing D is part of the supreme help?
It allows you to integrate opposing forces rather than just resisting them. If you understand, truly internalize, that the single supreme entity contains all three functions, generator, operator, and destroyer, then you can relate to all experiences, even the painful or destructive ones, as ultimately emanating from a single unified source. It changes your perspective on adversity.
So you stop seeing conflict or destruction as just this absolute external threat.
Exactly. You start seeing it potentially as a necessary function of the whole cycle, maybe clearing the way for new creation or just part of the natural flow.
That fundamentally shifts how you'd react.
It does. And the implication for human relations is profound. Achieving this equilibrium means having the mental capacity to relate to and deal with all types of people.
Because they embody different aspects.
Precisely. Those who are building things, generator types, those who are maintaining the status quo, operator types, and yes, even those who seem intent on challenging or dissolving existing systems, destroyer types.
You don't get pulled into extreme reactions.
You avoid that internal polarization because you recognize, theoretically at least, that they are all facets connected to that same singular source, that G.O.D entity, that stability is key to staying effective and not getting drained.
That really redefines resilience. It's not just bouncing back. It sounds more like not being knocked off balance quite so easily in the first place.
That's a good way to put it.
Because you expected the destruction as part of the cycle.
Okay.
But we still have one field we haven't fully addressed from the beginning, the physical.
Right. The foundation upon which all this rests.
And that brings us to our fifth principle.
Correct. That shifts our focus now to the necessary practical skill. Ingenuity, or sometimes termed engineering skill.
Ingenuity, engineering skill.
This principle directly governs how we manage our physical existence, our external resources, and crucially, the body itself. The text links it specifically to our output mechanisms, the actions we take, our efferent nerves.
So this is the hands-on practical skill required to manage the physical instrument we actually inhabit.
Yes.
For someone seeking this holistic success, what does that engineering look like day to day? What are we talking about practically?
Well, it's the meticulous and skillful management of the external inputs needed for a balanced, healthy body and mind. Things like air, light, water, and food.
The basics again.
The absolute basics, but managed with skill and awareness. The text is very clear that achieving physical balance is a critical prerequisite for the higher mental and spiritual work we've discussed.
So for a modern listener, this translates directly to things like health optimization, nutrition, exercise, sleep.
Absolutely. It's about treating the body with intelligence. I can see the connection to modern productivity ideas too, but perhaps with a different motivation.
How so? We often treat hydration, nutrition, sleep as optional luxuries, right? Or things we sacrifice for the hustle.
And the sources here would vehemently disagree with that approach. Ingenuity demands treating the body not as a mere convenience or something to be pushed past its limits, but as a critical piece of engineering.
An input for peak performance, but across all fields, not just work.
Exactly. An input for peak mental and spiritual performance, too. The text specifically warns against physical imbalance, avoiding extremes like chronic overeating or undereating, for example.
Why the strong warning?
Because if the physical balance is compromised, the capacity for that mental equilibrium we just talked about, and even for maintaining spiritual faith, diminishes immediately.
So you literally cannot have high-level spiritual or intellectual success if you're fueling your body with junk or consistently running on 3 hours of sleep.
That's the argument.
You can't apply truth,
Yeah.
Sankhya, effectively if your mind is foggy from neglect.
Precisely. This principle provides the essential grounding link. It ensures that all those abstract spiritual and mental goals we discussed, faith, truth, equilibrium, are anchored in the practical reality required to keep the instrument, your body, functioning optimally.
Ingenuity makes the whole system sustainable.
It's the prerequisite for the others to be truly sustainable in practice. You need the vessel to be sound.
Wow. Okay, this has been a true deep dive.
Yeah.
We moved from defining success not just externally, but as the achievement of Siddhi, this holistic harmony across physical, mental, and spiritual fields.
The internal state.
Then we established the 5 key principles, the steps needed to realize that harmony. We started with cultivating inner faith, gaining that core courage by knowing your fundamental worth.
Right. I am the son of the Supreme Being.
Then moving to intellectual alignment with truth, Satya, seeing things clearly, using worship practice, upasana, as the engine to maintain that spiritual unity.
Constant recalibration.
Then we covered achieving comprehensive social and mental equilibrium, stability, by recognizing that G.O.D concept of creation, operation, and dissolution in everything.
Integrating all experiences.
And finally, grounding it all with practical ingenuity, that skillful engineering in managing the physical body.
That's a great summary, and I think that the relevance here for anyone listening is really the structure it provides. These principles offer a structured, very internal approach to life goals.
Yep.
It's a compelling argument, really, that success is best achieved by prioritizing the quality of your internal state, that harmony, because the idea is once that internal architecture is sound, well, the external success tends to follow more naturally as a result.
Focus inward, and the outward takes care of itself to some extent.
That seems to be the core message.
So, thinking about tomorrow, for your next 24 hours, what does this all mean? If physical health is truly essential for applying ingenuity, and ingenuity, that practical skill, is required for equilibrium, that non-reactive stability we probably all crave.
Yeah.
Then how does prioritizing even a small daily act of physical maintenance, maybe spending 30 minutes preparing a genuinely balanced meal instead of grabbing junk, or just ensuring you're fully hydrated through the day, how does that immediately impact your ability to cultivate inner spiritual truth?
That's the connection to make.
Yeah, think about the immediate ripple effect of that one small, seemingly mundane action. It really shows that even the most grounded physical task can actually be a spiritual practice if you see it through the lens of these principles. Something to consider as you move forward.